Hey, this is Steve from Stoked here. I'm here with Don Tashman, president of Loaded Boards. We're having these 20-minute conversations with our longtime supporters. And I was just telling Don that Loaded was one of our, first three corporate sponsors back in the day. And I remember because that Adam and Adam, when they skated across the country, like there was a video that was made and then you donated a percentage of each video that was made to Stoked. Uh do you remember that? That was 2005.
Yeah, make you smile.
Yeah.
That was the name of the video. It was a DVD. I remember
It
picking
was
up
a
the
DVD. It was a DVD.
wow.
It was a DVD.
Yeah, he's good credit. Wow, that's wild, dude. Oh, wow. That's funny to think of ourselves as a corporate sponsor because I guess that's true, but literally, but
Yeah.
that's as we were talking about earlier, though. I think that idea of maybe it's worth talking about the idea of philanthropy in general and, kind of revisit that conversation we had before. But I think you were saying that we live in an era right now where, um, everyone's kind of fending for themselves, and that's critically
Yeah.
important. But like kind of losing sight of, the priority and the primacy of needing to be giving as part and parcel of our DNA and who we are collectively. It's just without that, I think we just lose so much of our souls and beings, and especially this divided world we live in. Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you've been a corporate sponsor literally for 20 years. Our office in LA was your address. We served thousands of kids out of your office. We held sample sales and events in your parking lot. You've done, it's which is funny too, because really right before we hit record on this video, we were talking about like you don't feel like you've done enough. And I've been in this space where, when you talk to different people, whether they're high achieving or entrepreneurs, whatever, I think we always don't give ourselves enough grace, you know, because the bar is pretty high for ourselves.
yeah, yeah,
Because you could do more. That's the thing. You know that you could do more.
yeah. And also that like that doing more is, it's of course selfish in a way. It's like, it's not just purely selfless. Like I know I could do more. We could be helping you guys more, but like the ability to do more actually enriches my life. And we feel it, we see it, you know it. And that's where I'm like beating myself up, and not because I feel like I could be helping you more, but because I guess in a way I feel like I could be helping me by helping. If you're right
Yeah.
about that are, that's something I'm very grateful for, and that's goes back to kind of the value that you bring is, that Stoke brings, I think is about, I believe the primacy of education is social education, is how we interact with each other, how we learn, how we read each other. We're social creatures. For me, the most education I got in college was not the literature I studied or astronomy or whatever it was. It was really about the people I was around. And I always set a high bar for myself, but like meeting people whose bar was so much higher. And then that, inspired me, and they're like, why can't I set my bar there? And that continuing
Yeah.
to do that, that became for me like a guiding light, is surround yourself by amazing people. You've been a big inspiration and a good friend for many, many years. And I always love our conversations, always pushing and always trying to push that bar higher. Um, so yeah, I'm stoked to be here. Thank you for inviting me on this.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is really, honestly, it's a pleasure to just reconnect with people that you've known for so long. And like, even, I think I just talked to Steve Van Doren from Vans
Oh,
the
cool.
other day, and they've been around for this next March is going to be 60 years. How long has Loaded been around? And I don't, talk about the journey of Loaded a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure I've filled you in on, but there's a lot going on. So I grew up in LA, but I went to college in New York and then moved back to LA in 2000 and started Loaded. That's a much longer conversation, but launched the first board in 2002. So it's been 23 years now. It's June 2002. So 23 years. Loaded had a kind of a rough, a long, slow start, as the whole discipline of longboarding was growing. There was a bunch of cool companies doing cool stuff. And it got all kind of coalesced around 2007, 2008. We launched Orangutan as our real brand at that point. That was a huge boom for us. Some drops in the mid 2014, 15 as Amazon kind of came in and caught us all by surprise. But we had this huge growth in Germany during that period, followed by huge growth in China. We also were very involved with some of the early electric boards. We built all the decks and wheels for Boosted for their V1s and V2s, and that was a big part of our efforts and efforts to expand skateboarding into new directions. And then COVID hit, and that was very wild. And it continues to be a very wild ride. It was, I hate to say it, but in a way, it was very good for us. Our business grew tremendously. So many people were stoked on skateboarding, on anything they can do outside and in a safe way during that time, and that was incredible. But there was a lot of the industry suffered a major hangover because there was too much oversupply. There was all this start and stop from China, and there was it's still recovering, and there hasn't been, people have been hanging, I guess the same thing we were talking about before. A lot of the other brands have been hanging on for dear life and haven't had the resources to put into community building and product development and creativity. And I think that's hurt the whole space. And I think skateboarding today is much more important than ever before, because we're so attached to our phones and to our devices and to all these things that expand our minds in some ways and expand our being, but are limiting in others. And like the importance of skateboarding and all, one of the things I loved about COVID, I hate to say that, but is that it kind of broke down all these barriers. You can skate, you can scooter, you can inline, you can mountain bike, you can road bike, and like everyone's doing everything. And I think that's cool. Like, I think it's just broke down all the boundaries, and now we need to pick up the pieces. And has led to some very interesting things. I don't know if I told you this, but we just merged with Carver.
Oh, wow. Carver boards. Wow.
Words. Yeah. So that's been,
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. So that happened. We signed the deal on September 16th, so a month ago. And then are fully in-house as of last Friday, a week ago. Shipping.
Wow.
So that's a huge thing. I mean, there are multiple times our size, so but I'm going to be running the whole thing. Original founders of Carver.
Separate brands?
Publicly, the brands will be separate, but the back end will all be integrated.
Wow.
So we bring so many cool things to the table, and I think we bring so many cool things as well. So tremendous synergies, 25 years of friendship, and Neil and Greg, the founders, are still on board. Still have all the main people are still part of it. So it's super exciting. So far it's just been like incredible energy. I can't wait for you to come see it. This place looks totally different than the last time you were.
Dude, let me ask you. So, I stepped away for, 3 years of something that I thought that I would be doing the rest of my life, but then I kind of didn't. Like, what does it feel like to just like literally commit your career to this idea of boards and wheels?
As always, you nail on the head. I was doing a lot of soul searching because the past couple of years have been tough. I really love what I do, and I love the creativity. And this is I had a great book for you. It's called When Business is Love it's about the Hostens mattress company. They sell mattress. It's beautiful, but a lot of what he talks about is abundance and spread, and his goal of using beds to help people sleep better, to have better lives, to have more joy and more love. And it parallels with what we do. We're making skateboards. It's our vehicle. It's not the only one, but it's the vehicle that we use, starting internally, personally, and then around us, spreading love between us, spreading creativity and enjoyment and exciting things, and then spreading that out through our products, through our shops, through our vendors, and out to the world. And using skateboarding to bring love and joy and resilience and creativity, I think is an incredibly important role. In the past 2 years, we've been losing a bunch of money. So I was thinking, okay, is this the time in my life where I go do something else? Like, this has been a huge part of my identity, but it's not who I am. It's not, it's not the thing that I am. But what am I going to do? I'm probably going to, how am I going to get a position where I'm surrounded by all these amazing people? and being able to do all these creative things. But if that's what the universe brings me, that's what I'm going to do. And I don't need to do this. I have, I like being a multifaceted person and go explore something else. And then this opportunity came through, and it was like the serendipity of it and how it all came together. And it was a couple months of, also like deep into spreadsheets and doing the non-romantic, non-fun stuff and looking at it and being like, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right endeavor? It's the riskiest thing I've ever done. But it's like, this is the opportunity. Why do I want to do this? I mean, hopefully the financial rewards will be good, but that's secondary. The experience, my opportunity to have, leave this place better than I found it, and to have these personal experiences and joy and spread Stoked is, that's what, I'm simplifying, but that's what pushed me over the edge and made me decide that this is the time to do it. I'm 51 years old. I have, a 10-year-old. My youngest is 10. I'm going to have 7, 8 years of still being in LA. And, this is the time to really decide, is it time to move on and do something else or to double down? And I do think, it was not a hard decision at the end of the day. This is really a true opportunity, and I'm really, really grateful for it.
Dude, I really, really love that. I started thinking about even me coming back to Stoked, and I don't know like what my long-term role is, but like I do miss the I do miss the energy of being around young people. I do miss the idea of being around, supporters that are mission minded, that care about the future. And to go back to your thing about skateboarding, another conversation that I had recently was with Jeff Gates from Uncle Funky's.
Oh, cool.
And Jeff has a very deep passion, love for skateboarding, like love. And he was like, and the way he talked about it, he's like, I've put together thousands of boards. And he goes, the act of putting together a board for somebody is healing for me. And giving a board to a kid or a person and seeing their face lights up, he goes, listen, he goes, if I croak over and die, he goes, that's what I was supposed to do. And I was like, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
That's Jeff. That is Jeff. I've seen that. And I know people, there's shops like that. There's Heiko at Concrete Wave in Germany, who's like that. It's like, you see that. That's not me. I mean, I do that in my way. On that, I do it. I definitely do it physically, but like people who like that, who there's like I don't know, it's an act of, how would you
It's like
describe?
calling a service. It's like a service, right?
Right.
Like,
You see people, and I think we all do it. Like you're saying, mission minded in our way, but like there's certain people like Jeff and like Heiko who, like, you see it. It's like, it's beautiful to watch. It's like a ritual. You
it's
see how
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that I thought of where you said, is like this act of service of skateboarding, providing happiness, is that I think we live in a time now that, let's be real, that the idea of creative self-expression and voice and speech are being taken away. And we're being fed certain narratives, and communities are being divided. And I started thinking about, like, I went down this rabbit hole of an exercise, like, who are the freest people right now? And I was like, artists, musicians, and skateboarders. And you think about the idea of creating art and skateboarding being an art, and the idea of skateboarding being a no barrier way of creatively self-expressing yourself through movement. And I was like, yo, we need to nurture this. We need to grow it as much as possible. And I mean, I'm talking to, the person that's like the largest. Are you guys the largest longboard company in the world right now?
We're up there, I'd say. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're like, but we're up there at this point.
But to me, it's like, we got to grow the space to give people more sense of freedom. That's the point, is like, and I see skateboarding as being that vehicle to freedom freedom of self-expression, freedom of movement, freedom of like just creativity, right? Like personal sense of style, freedom of community.
Exactly. The global interconnectivity is something that, it's surprising. The more we're connected, the more we're divided. But
Yeah.
there was eras, and I think I see this coming back, where just these worldwide interactions where you start all these things that you're taught to hate and divide each other. Like skateboarding is an amazing tool for building
Yes.
community, for being able to go and couch surf and, uh, on the other side of the world and meet someone that you've seen online and you had some interaction with. And like, it's a common binding force. And I think that's an incredibly important, part of this. And it's because you focus on, we share so much more than in reality. We share, there's more
So
divisions
much.
externally than there are internally. We share so much as humans and
So
like,
much. We all want the same things. We
no,
all want the same things.
we don't want the same things.
We all
Uh,
want the same things. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And you're absolutely right. The global interconnectivity is actually, you see it like with skateboarding. The fact that you can sell a skateboard to somebody in Germany or in France or whatever, and the same ethos, the same visions, the same missions, it's the same
Yeah. I mean, all over the world, it's the same.
all over the world. All over there's the same. Dude, tell me if you have do you have any like favorite Stoked memories? Do you have any memories of Stoked over the past 20 years or like moments that you remember?
I mean, there's so many of mine are literally here in this office. And as seeing Steph and Kyle and just the interaction that they've made. Steven, continues to come, but yeah, Tom last week was here and what he's doing right now with building the local Inglewood track efforts. And just the, you know, you guys have always attracted some of the kindest, sweetest people and that have been
Yeah.
a pleasure to have around us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've always our LA program, honestly, like it warmed my heart because I knew that the kids that were in Stoked, they really treasured and they valued being part of it, like the environments in which they were in and the opportunities to leave. Because LA is very hard to navigate, right? Like it's a very difficult place to move around. It broke my heart to be able to know that we weren't serving kids in LA anymore. This was like it was my second city. I love LA. I'll
Too.
tell you one of my favorite memories
Yeah.
of Loaded was the first time I hung out with you, Pablo, and I forgot your old sales guy, your old sales and marketing guy. Was his name Jason? No, Jay.
Dan? Dan?
He's the guy from Michigan. This is back in 2005. He had like long hair. He was like a surfer.
Jason, yeah. It was Jason.
Was it Jason?
Yeah. We're Indiana and
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, we went to a parking garage and we tested out boards.
I remember
And that
that.
was literally the best. We parked in the parking lot. We took an elevator to the top floor and then we would bomb the parking garage. That was so much fun. That's like a core memory. That's like I love that so much.
I actually think it's publicly, but I'll leave out. I won't give away too much. But for 15 years, there's been an event that Ari Thomas Money, who's really good friend, team rider, has been hosting at Wednesday nights at midnight in downtown LA in parking garage,
Wow.
and they cap it at 65 people, and there's 65
Wow.
people there every week, and people say
Wow.
it's church for them. It's their
Oh
sanctuary.
my God.
It's
I can
amazing.
totally see.
It's amazing. I know
Totally see that.
these as well, but it's the LA one is it's just incredible. It's an incredible group of people, and it self polices, and it like people are really respectful. It's just very late at night, but it's
Yeah. Yeah.
get I guess uh
That's funny.
but our response, yeah. But that's true. I totally remember going out with you. We skated a bunch of those garages over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cherish those times. I mean, those are pre-kids. Those are, yeah, pre-kids and where, you know, I think one of the things that I really loved about, our relationship was that I knew that you were out building something and then you knew that I was building something. And so there was like this mutual respect for each other. And that was something that like, I know that I needed that. I needed to be around people that, that really, they were pushing the envelope on their end because could you imagine 30 years ago telling somebody that like, hey, I'm going to start a skateboard company? People are like, you're nuts. Like, what's wrong with you?
That I had a girlfriend break up with me because of it at that time. Actually, pretty like, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to do
For
anything.
sure.
Well,
For sure.
I'd say one of my cherished memories is a lot of the conversations we've had over the years. You're always asking these questions and interested in, kind of how to elevate and how to make things progress. And one of the things you've said to me that I quote all the time, I don't know if this is still part of your ethos, but you're like, I've been thinking about it. And the goal of Stoked is to get every single kid in the United States or in the world, but at least starting in the United States, teach them how to skateboard. They don't have to love it. They don't have to do it,
Yeah.
but in that skill set. And
It
I think
really
that's
is. Honestly, the thing that I learned coming back to Stoked is that like it can't be Stoked that's doing it. It's got to be like I need like 1,000. We need 1,000 Stokes, right? Like we need lots and lots and lots of people in order for that to happen. And I feel like that's coming back. That's my motto right now. It's like I'd rather teach people how to do what I did and give them the tools to do it so that they can empower their own,
yeah.
kids in their own community and even adults. Like, I feel like that's a missed opportunity too for adults to be able to get on a board.
You know what? Actually, it's interesting you say that because we look at what our data, the data is that people over 30 are more active than ever before. People under 30 are less active than ever before. And we see it in the products in our demographic. There's a lot of people in their 50s, 60s, and older that are skating. And you're right, there is an opportunity.
Wow.
And I hear it all the time. People are like, I never learned how to skate. I don't think I can do it. And I'm like, yeah, you can. Let's get you on it.
Okay.
Really accessible stuff. And like, oh yeah, I can. This isn't that hard.
Yeah.
I can skateboard well. Why can't I do this? Or, or I'm a dancer, or I like, you know how to use your body. Like, even if you don't, it is accessible.
It's totally accessible.
I agree with you. Well, in terms of what you just described, I like to refer to it as like a virtuous pyramid scheme, right? You put love out there, and the people that are attracted, you put Stoke out there. The people are attracted to that Stoke, give them the skills and the opportunity and the platform to be able to expand that and attract others and build that. So I like that. I think that makes a lot of sense without knowing the details of where you're at, but for Stoked to be, not a silo, but rather something that
A platform. And that's the idea is really, I mean, I envision it in the future that like people want to start Stoke programs. It's like here's the curriculum, here's the tools, here's where you can get your boards, like here's a community that you join that support you. You know what I mean? That's important to me right now. I think making an impact is better than like, I don't know, impact is everything. Because like I said, I think the future of young people is at stake. And I feel like if we can create more independent thinkers and creative, self-expressive people, like that will be really, really helpful,
you might want to look at as a model. I'm just learning about this right now. My daughter just started doing robotics through the first program that was developed by Dean Kamen, the guy who developed Segway originally. And it's a oriented program. I think it's been going on for 25 years. And now it's going down to middle school and elementary school. And she's volunteering on Sunday at it's like a robotics Lego thing for elementary school or middle school kids. I haven't seen it yet, but this Sunday. And the way they do that, I mean, I think is super interesting. And like the high school kids are encouraged to be doing it with the middle school and elementary. And there's like points that you get that go towards your success. And, it's an interesting, I'll learn more about it, but and then share that with you, but I would recommend like kind of looking in to how they structure it. And there might be a lot to learn from
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
could
Yeah. Yeah.
be,
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, so last question is, could you give Stoked a shout out? This is like, hi, this is Don from Loaded Boards. I'd like to give a shout out for 20 years, for Stoked and everything.
Hi, this is Don from Loaded Boards. Love to give a shout out to Stoked. I'm a big fan, and I guess a supporter for 20 years, 20 plus years at this point. And really excited looking forward to the future of Stoked. And as we've discussed, this is one of the most, I think what Stoked does is one of the more interesting and exciting and important things for the future of not just skateboarding, but human interaction. No, that's grandiose, but there's a lot of truth to that.
Cool. Dude, thank you so much, man.
All right, dude. Much love. Thank you.